Hello. Hi, everybody. Yay. Uh-oh. I have my helicopters going, so hopefully it won't bump off my live stream today. Hoping everything will behave itself. How we doing today? I see Judy is opening packages and lurking. And thank you to everybody who has come onto my streams and you're chatting and everything. I appreciate it. I know people will sometimes say, hit the like button and subscribe. And I don't know YouTube that well, so truthfully. But basically, it's anything that works to help us get the other fellow Lemurians to come in and come across this. You know, we're gonna be able to see more and more people coming onto our little light disc. Hi, Hypnicity. Oh, you're so welcome. Yay. Yay. Any beer? Yay. Did someone? Yay. Always forget to change it from chat to. I know, I do the same thing because whenever I look on that, it's like, oh, there's way more in there. Cool. Hi, Teresa Ford. But I also wanted to say hi to everybody that is lurking that can't chat, that's tuning in on this as a replay as well. And so to start off with, what I wanted to do first and foremost, I will get to, I will, oh, I'm so sorry. I know, right? You feel like you're missing out on stuff. First things first, I wanted to do another harmonization, but I wanted to find out where people were energy-wise first, to see if we want to also do an undoing and a doing. If you're feeling pretty good and grounded, then we'll just do the harmonization. But if you've got stories that are going, things that are pulling you off sideways or something, we can certainly do some extra. So let's start off with this one first. Tihe, hori, hora, mahaka watahi, it ingawa, to iri te atawana, waiwatapu, it ingawa, te whenui, trarani te katau, waiwatapu. It ingawa, te whaia tamatua, te tama, waiwatapu. Tihe, hori, hora. Yay. Okie dokie. Let's put you down here. Oh, well, thank you so much, Amy Bear. Double eclipse. Yeah, those MP3s. Yeah, I do. And honestly, if you guys like the MP3s that I have, it is cheaper if you go over and you get the ones from Loren's audience, because you will actually get 5 of the MP3s. And that was priced at $101. So it is a different MP3 that I created. You're still going over all of the meridians, but the different MP3s are, because one is a 3-pack, and I believe that was set at $77. That's for humans, small animals. So it's going to be a smaller energy that I do. So if people are just starting off and they're not that used to my energy, you can certainly do the small animal MP3 to help your own body system more. Like if you have a lot of health challenges, for example, you can certainly start off with that MP3 to ease into it. And Annie Bear, thank you so much for telling the one lady in the chat, or the person in the chat. They had a reaction while I was doing it. And Annie Bear thankfully told them to go ahead and take some water, which is exactly it. If you have any of the reactions, like they were nauseous, go ahead and drink water. I love Rosie too. I love all my animal friends. They're so great. Let me see. Oh, your acupuncturist did some bloodletting. Was that an accident? You need a comb for your head. Might not hurt. Sometimes you can do that because you can end up, it itches or whatever. And head wounds, they bleed a lot. In a pinch, there's something that's called styptic powder, but it'll stain your pillowcase. You can grab a little bit of flour if you need as a coagulant in the case of an emergency, and it will work. But I don't recommend that too much. Usually just putting some pressure on the head will work. I wanted to address this one because I did see that as another chat. So, okay, so can I explain more about the 2D energies that we're not feeding anymore? Yes. That is going to be things that this is the last grind, and so it goes usually into a fever pitch, just like you're going to see with in our, I hate using the word, but politics is going to come up to a screaming forefront. They're going to convince you that the world is going to end. It's ridiculous. The world is going to end if my side doesn't win. Okay, guys, take a deep breath. The world will not end if your side does not win, quote, quote, quote. It's ridiculous hyperbole is what's happening. Take a deep breath. In the event that the other, quote, quote, team, and see right there, feel right into that. See, this is intentional. Those 2D entity things, they created the entire politic thing because you can feel, if you're being triggered, you're going to feel the anger, the scream. You might have even already clicked off of me. No, you don't understand. I do understand. Where there's a will, there's a way. If you perceive that there's going to be a problem with your way of life or how you're doing things, if you still want something to happen, you will find a way to make it happen. Okay? That's the first thing. The second thing, all of that energy that came up, it fed those people. It fed those 2D entities. So you're the one that is losing your energy to them if you actually feed into their politic game. So honestly, by this point, everybody knows who they're going to vote for. And that's if you're even going to vote at all. That is another choice. You can say, I'm not buying into your shenanigans. I'm not buying into your nonsense story because what you think exists doesn't actually exist. It's fake. It's made up. And so you do have a choice as well not to feed any energy into that as well. You need to remember that people across the aisle, quote, quote, are humans. They still stick their pants on the same way you do. They still reach for their purse whenever they go out the door. They still love and cherish and take care of the children just as much as you do. We need to remember our humanity going forward. And the important thing is take your focus off of it. Like I said, by now, everybody knows who they're going to vote for. And so some of the stuff is the 2D entities. What's going to happen is as we step through this time and as we go more and more into the 5D, into the Lemurian energies, what's going to happen with those entities is we're going to see a crumbling of their structures, their filters. The more that we speak the truth, and the truth is the undistorted light going forward. The truth is we are in peace. We are loving individuals. We know what's happened on this planet. We know that those entities have put those filters traditionally in place. Now, they've had 26,000 years of putting it in place. So most of them are going to go probably kicking and screaming and not very happy. If you're empathic, meaning that you feel into other people's energies inadvertently, you may feel distress from that, but it's not your stuff. And that is why I pulled that discernment card. This month especially, you need to understand what is true, what is yours, what is not yours. Most of what's happening is you're picking up on the energy field from them, and it is getting less and less and less. What's going to happen is they still have the right to exist. Although I got to be honest, as we move more fully into the exposure of the photon lights, I'm not too sure They may have to retreat underground. I don't know. We might all have to retreat underground. It just depends on just exactly how much light we get from the central sun. But I don't think so, moving forward. But they will have the right to exist. But rather than inflicting damage on us, I think that there's just going to be so much energy going from the photons that are going to be coming in. I don't honestly think that they'll need to eat on us. I don't think that they'll need to feed off of our energy, because I think there'll be such an abundance energy that's all around us. Oh, and Annie Bear, I did answer your question about the 2D entity TV thing, and yes, it is. But this is where it can be a little tricky, because even though it was created for 2D projections, I'm on what we could be considered a 2D creation. Originally it was created, and I don't think that it was intended to unite people quite as much as what it has. I mean, I'm able to speak with people and learn from people around the world, and share what I do with people that are around the world. So that'll be fun. Scroll. Yeah, okay, great. Oh, wonderful. See, I know very little about YouTube. So I guess if people share it and like it, only if they like it. Oh, that's interesting. My teeth chatter, but I'm not cold. Teresa Ford, there are things that are called somatic releases. Sometimes if I'm laying in a particular position on my leg, on my right-hand side, I can get my leg to go ahead and do a shake, and it will be releasing energy off of it. I kind of wonder if maybe that's some of why your teeth are chattering. You could be releasing energy and not really knowing it, especially if your vagus nerve is overloaded. Yay. Yeah. There's actually 5 new MP3s that were created just exclusively for her audience. That's why I was letting people know about it. I'll be. Woke up with blood on your pillows. Good Lord. Huh? You guys are twinning. Aw, thank you. Let's see. We're just going to scrolly. I'm scanning. Oh, my. Let me see right quick. Severe concussion. Tempting to, have a feeling he'll be doing a bit more last. Yeah, because if you have, and that would be considered serious stagnation. And there are several points that are actually on the head as well. So that'll be, and since they are close to the ting points that are on the face, they'll be impacting some of your chi flow as well. Mm-hmm. Right, Annie Bear. That's just it. No more us versus them, but I do need to tell you that you do need to be discerning. We're going to bring up the discerning card again, because you don't need to give them your energy. And there are entities out there that don't need to be given the benefit of the doubt. You need to have your own boundaries in place so that you are not harmed trying to be nice. In other words, you still need to be careful, kind of like the old adage of, you still need to tie your shoelaces down here. You don't want a burglar coming in and destroying you and your family and your home. You still need to lock the door. You still need to tie your shoelaces. Still need to stay on the right side of the car as you're driving down the highway. You need to stay on the right side. So there is that. But yeah, the less that we can do the fighting with each other, especially, like I said, the main problem that I have with the politics is that it was manufactured. It's no different than people that you will see get fighting and head up over a football game or a basketball game. They really feed into that. And there again, The 2D entities, they thrive off of that. Oh, Paul cut out. Okay. Okay. Oh, you came back. Okay, great. Hi, Paul. I'm gonna scroll down here. One door opens, another door closes. Very much so. And we'll certainly be keeping you in our thoughts tomorrow. If you can remember your mama in a happy way, I don't know if you're. Some people are, some people aren't. But you can take flowers to the grave, or you can just simply celebrate, do your own thing at home, and whatever she would enjoy. That's the hard part. Is they're incredibly happy, and our loved ones never want us to be sobbing over. In fact, they find it distressing whenever we're sobbing over their passing over. They are just on the other side of the veil from us, but they are right here. They never truly leave us, and it knowing that they're here and they're always watching out over us is helpful, but it still hurts that you can't reach out and hug them, or you can't. You can always talk to them, but it definitely hurts that they're not actually here. So big hugs. They're actually feeding off of any energy that they can get a hold of. But what's going to happen is, as we go up in our energy frequency, they can't reach beyond 4D. So as we ascend into and go up into 5D energy, they won't be able to interact with us. It's kind of like those light orbs that I keep seeing, or the outlines of the people that I see whenever I'm like walking in between my house and my barn. They're right in front of me, but I can't quite interact with them just yet. Even though they can present to me, they'll still phase out of what I can physically see. That's going to be the same thing that's going to happen to these 2D people and these 2D entities. It's kind of like, you probably have encountered this, where people will come up and, boy, you can be talking to people and it's like they're not hearing you, or they don't see you. And that's because you're not on the same frequency. It's kind of insulting at first, but whenever you begin to understand that they literally cannot see you or hear you, you don't take it quite as personal. So what's going to happen is, you literally won't be existing in their realm. And that is, as you keep doing the work. And by the work, I mean every day do some sort of frequency work, the MP3s. You can listen to my live chat replays as much as you want. That will be helping to lift the frequency up. But you're going to be looking for things that are solfeggio frequencies. It's like this month's, we should really be focusing on anything that's 741 hertz, which correlates with the throat, which for that is the KaHa system is Tinira for the voice, which is the weaving. It represents as we tell our stories, as we express ourselves, that thread of our voice goes out and weaves our story into the tapestry that is out there. So any of the frequency music will definitely help. And that's not to ignore our root chakra or healthy sacral chakra. Absolutely, those all have their place. It's just this month is really focused on the throat. Let me see. I think so too. Yeah. Hi. Let me see. Where did that go? Oh, jumped. Okay. Hi, Rainbow Rising Freedom. Aloha. How you doing? Welcome. Hopefully I did not accidentally do something to one of those. See, yeah, don't give your energy to anybody. Yeah, that's just it. It opens, right into the third chakra. Yeah. And see, these are what you're getting right now with those channels opening with the acupuncture. That's what I'm doing whenever I'm doing the energy healing. When I'm doing my meridian clearing, the exact same channels. So we're gonna scrolly. Yeah, actually, that is exactly it. Yeah. And when I first had that happen to me, I was so furious because it's like, what the? I'm right here. I get that I look young, and sometimes people will dismiss me because I look like a kid, but I'm like, hello, stop walking on me, or hello, I need help. And it's literally they don't see me, they don't hear me. I don't exist to them because I'm not actually on their surface. And yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. Um, when do you think that we will notice the fading? I think it's already happening, truthfully. It's like it's moving a lot of energy this morning, so that's a little thirsty. um, ah, I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but there have been times whenever I have looked on. We have this thing that's called Trip Check, and it's web cameras that are set up around so that if you're going someplace, you can look to see how the traffic is in a certain spot. And there were times whenever, especially I want to say that was 2022. That was whenever the gigantic bifurcation happened, whenever we were distinctly on two different timelines. I would look, and my husband would be saying, no, there's tons of people, because he would be driving the road. The traffic is packed. I would look, and it was kind of creeping me out. It looked like an apocalyptic type TV show or something, because there would be people on there, but there would be one or two. And I mean, we're talking a metro city that normally is nose to tail with traffic. And at the most, I saw maybe five. It was scary. It took me a bit to comprehend what was going on, but yeah, it was strange to me to see how few people were on there. But what was being shown to me was not it is the separating in that year, especially of the timelines. It was the separation of who was still on your timeline, on your thread. That's why whenever I greet people, whenever they're on, if you're literally on watching the replay, or you're on this live chat, you literally are on the same vibe as me. And we're on Lemuria 5, which is planet Matea, which is the planet of light. We are on the ascension path. And sometimes that can be a little bit rough. Yeah, I want a happy home. I hear ya. Well, Rainbow Rising, you can what you can do too. The little bit that I did in the beginning, you can certainly play that over and over in each one of the rooms that you have for cleaning and clearing, and that cleans and clears each room as you go. I've had so many people do that to me. Oh, your three sisters, not so much with mom. It doesn't matter. They're on their own path. You're on yours. Hey, a woman. Nice to see you. How you doing, Karen? Oh, cool. And we got Rossi here too. Hi. Wonderful. Oops. Scrolling. Oh, okay. So, sure. And the nice thing about that is, I look forward to it. There are other people, other teachers, I'm sure, of the information that's coming from New Zealand. So it'll be interesting to see what she says. And there are other people, other tribes. The Maori are the most known in New Zealand, but there are other people, other tribes that exist as well. So it'll be interesting to hear what their voices are. You definitely want to vet everybody. This is the month for it. And that's just it. This is the month where I've been practicing everybody saying, find out what your yes and your no's are. You'll be able to tell by your body. And then as you're hearing things come in, check it. Close your eyes, Close your eyes is really important because what's going to happen when our eyes, we are such a visually oriented people, our species. And so if you close your eyes, what's going to happen is all of that brain power suddenly is released. And so you can focus more on what's my body giving me. And you can do that as a slow blink if you need in the moment. But that gives you, if you're practicing every day, is this true for me? Pick up your crystals, hold one of your crystals in your palm in front of you. Say, do I need this crystal for today? Yes, no. Feel into your body. Close your eyes and feel into your body. Is this crystal going to be beneficial for me today? Set it down. It's a real simple thing that you can start practicing now, because as you go out into the world and you're interacting with other people and you're getting this information and everything, you'll be able to body check then with yourself and see what's going on. Ah, wonderful. Sweet. That's not surprising at all. I know one of my past lives I was, I don't claim shaman this lifetime, but I know I was a medicine woman shaman in another lifetime, like way prehistory. Hey, Randy, how you doing? Hi, Amanda Carroll. So good to see you here. Big hugs to Gretchen. How's she doing this morning? Little Missy Woodle. I think that was Sunday. Sunday she had problems with some missteps. So I feel like I'm not, hang on a second. I feel like I'm not going to really be able to focus on the future until I've spoken the truth of my past. I keep feeling so driven to write, but hard to go back into that headspace. Did some. Is this something that you feel that you really need to get out? Because what you can do is an undoing to collapse that story. It's literally taking it back to a clean slate. And sometimes you can just scribble stuff down on a piece of paper and then throw it in a bonfire too. It doesn't have to be shared with everybody. I've had experiences in the past whenever I thought that would make a great book or that would make a great novel. But my quality of life went downhill whenever I was trying to get back into that same headspace, because it was bringing my energy back into fright and lower frequencies then. So it really was much more beneficial to just simply let that go. So consider what you're doing. Oh, good. I'm so glad that Gretchen's doing better. You want to do the undoing? In a way, I feel like it needs to be shared. I agree with Danny Bear. Let's go ahead and do an undoing and a doing. Anybody that is new, and that's for any of my lurkers or anybody that's going to see this in the future, you might, and it's going to sound a little silly, but you might feel dizzy whenever I go to do this, because it's going to move a lot of energy. What I'm going to be doing is undoing and collapsing false narratives, false stories, any negative energies, anything that is incorrect or an untruth is going to be collapsed. And sometimes whenever that energy hits, it can make you spin a little bit, be a little dizzying. So go ahead and be seated if you can for this. And let's get started. Actually, I'm hearing that I'm going to do 3 sets. So really hang on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. This one's going to be pretty powerful as I go through it. And usually by that 3rd set, it's going to be really potent. big, oh, I, ma, no, do, oh, oh, donna, nu, ma, I. Stepping into the new, there's some clean slates. Woo! Yeah, I agree. Did some. That's like being hit by waves of energy. It's like riding the wave. For the last 3 years, that's been my journey and my task, is learning how to navigate to some pretty turbulent energy as it comes in. It can be pretty strong. It can feel a little dizzying. You can feel like you're standing on a waterboard sometimes. But literally what that did was that allowed us to step into a clean slate. This is also called 0 point energy. Scalar energy is another name for it. And what happens is it collapses that story. It also collapses the environment. You are so welcome, honey. And oops, sorry about that. You're welcome, Annie Bear. That's just it. That tells you that that was stories that were lodged and stuck in those body spaces as well. Scalar energy is I want to say that was Nikola Tesla. I'm a little dizzy after everything happens like that. So what happens is it collapses the waveform into, when you see a wave, you've got the up and then you've got the trough, and then you have the up and the trough. And so what happens is that collapses it down into that 0 point, that neutrality point. So it literally collapses that wave. And so that energy point, that potentiality, that is kind of what we think of as the light from the central sun. So it's the scalar energy is going to be the quantum energy, the fields, the force, the energy that goes in and around everything. Great. Definitely get some water. Ground if you think you need it. I'm still kind of feeling it. It definitely pushes through. It's quite a lot. Let's see what we've got. Something starred up here. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, this. Great. Oh, bless her. Rosie's asleep. Yay. See, I do that a lot to animals because and that same thing is going to happen a lot to people. A lot of times whenever they hit my energy field, especially if they're new to me, I'm automatically emitting energy codes to people. And that's part of why I display my Huna essence, which is Huna Kamaroha, in front of you, because that's hitting your energy field and it is giving you the updates and the activations that you're going to get from that. Yep, you're going to nap. You're going to nap really, really well. What do you recommend with our clean slate? Whatever feels happy, whatever is in your highest good. Any activity that is going to be heart-centered. So you could do singing, you could do coloring, drawing, you could take you can take a nap. You can wash your house, do the dishes, something like that. But the important thing is that as you're in the higher frequency, every activity that you do will have that clean slate, will have that higher frequency. And so you'll be able to carry that into your spaces all around. Symbols in rows across. Oh, that's wonderful. Annie Bear, if you see, sometimes you should be drawn to those different symbols. A lot of the stuff, I honestly don't know, because I think that the light beings that I am working with are a much higher dimension. And even though I have been asking them for years now, they will not tell me what the upgrades are. They haven't shared with me what these codes are, other than I'm transitioning and they're doing the upgrade in order to help as we go through. And in some instances, I think the only task, unless we're being prompted to do something specifically, I think our only task really is to simply be here so that we can stand, like you're saying, stand in the light and emit that light. So like what you've been doing, taking your photos and then sharing that, those are beautiful. That's perfect. Yep. Continue to do your grounding into Mother Earth. Allow the codes to come from above and then ground all the way through you, just like the bubble technique. And so any of the replays, if you need an upliftment or something, you can certainly listen to any of the replays that I have posted on the channel. And that helps to get your energy boosted up, especially if you are, we're headed into a time frame. And I forgot, any Canadians here, happy Canada Day. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you. And that's just it. As we go forward, some of our families and some of our older friends, we're in slightly different frequencies. We're in slightly different time frames. And so we can be kind of pulled, into our older identity structures. Parents especially love to remember you when. And so a lot of times they'll treat you as a 6-year-old, which can be really frustrating because, of course, you've grown. And so you can just simply try to stand as much in your higher frequency as you can, and that will help to upgrade your friends and your family all around you. Nothing that you have to actively do. It's just you're automatically going to be doing that. Like little lighthouses, you're just going to be beaming that out there, which is wonderful. Because a lot of us, we begin to panic. We start on this ascension path, and then we grow so much. And suddenly it's like, wait, I don't want to leave everybody behind. And so you'll do something that's called running down the ladder, where you'll try to shrink, or you will try to go down in your frequency in order to communicate with them. And that actually isn't going to be helpful for them or for you. So it is better if you can stand in your own power, stay in your own lane, and allow them to experience it. You don't have to actively share anything with them. Part of speaking the truth is knowing when to keep it sacred and hold it to yourself. You can be just mentally thinking it. You don't have to actually say anything. So that's pretty wild too. Did I put everybody to sleep? I still got 11 people here. Everybody go running off. I know, right? Thank goodness for the dolphins and the whales and the indigenous people from Australia. Yay. Yeah, see, my mom pretty much ignores me. She doesn't know how to be around me, never really has. Sometimes I find, because I've got entire banks of people that I'm told I'm related to, and I have denied it since I was an itty bitty kid, and they're like, oh, this person's your cousin, this person's your uncle, this person's your cousin. And it's like, I'm beginning to think you're pulling random people off the sidewalk just to tell me that I'm related to them. And I'm like, that's not my cousin. That's not my relative or whatever. I was in denial. So that's probably the reversal of that. I'm like, I'm not buying it. Indigenous. You bet we are. I have so many. Well, actually, we're all indigenous. It's kind of silly to even say it. I mean, all of our tribes. You've all the Keltoi tribes. You have all of the, the Keltois from Europe. All of the ones that were in Didanu, the ones that were Tuatha De Danann in Tara, in the UK. All of the ones that were from Iceland, Greenland, coming across. And then, of course, we have all of our tribes that were here, and the tribes that were here, they weren't even from here originally. They migrated in, coming from the different islands in Mu, which were over in the Polynesians. I mean, it's just there's so many. It's fascinating to watch the migrations. I mean, you can literally part of the meditation you can do is you can sit and think of our world, and our world doesn't even look like, the land masses migrate. We've got upheavals of mountain ranges. We have other places that have sunk. And you can literally watch the people as they migrate in and out, the tribes and everything. I mean, cave bears, you've got cave lions, bison that they followed, the land bridge that happened. I mean, there's just so much with everybody, and we're so connected. And that's why sometimes you'll hear things and it's like, wait a minute, you say that too? That's shocking. And it's because the sounds, the seed sounds are from Lemuria. And so that's, it hits and it resonates with us. Judy, oh my Lord. I'll bet she was in shock. Yeah, as moms, I'm sure that was it's like, no, I was there for the birth. I carried you. You were definitely not. Cool. Just for that extra kick, right? Yeah, see, I do too. I resonate with Lemuria, and that was just it. The whales and the dolphins came in. Golly, 2021 they really came in, but I had the whales especially around, and it was just something where, and again, you're gonna follow your body into it. It's because you're getting echoes. See, that's each and every single iteration. We are on Lemuria 5, which means that there were 4 other iterations of Lemuria here before. Avalon being one of them. That was the iteration of Tara. Atlantis was another, because we had Atlanta versus Lemuria, and that was the big fight the last time around. That was Lemuria 4 that happened with that big fight between Atlantis and Lemuria. And so you had the head versus the heart. That was the problem. Atlantis went so into and was fighting for the Lemurian crystals. Well, that didn't work out well for us. We need to balance the head and the heart. That's what the problem is. Oh, you love my art? That's my little calendar that's working back there. My undoing. It's actively, the artwork on that is transmuting and actively working the technology from Lemuria. Oh, if you want that artwork is actually from Hunaflash. So you would need to go to hoh.earth, and he's got different merchandise that you can purchase different things with that. It's transmuting. There are transmutation codes in there, and it helps to transmute the filters that were put into place for us by the 2D entities to siphon off of our energy. Something's confusing, transmuting. I saw something. Yeah, you got it right, Andy Bear. There was something up here about. Here we go. How do we make peace with not liking Atlantis? Well, some of us were actually in Atlantis. Some of us were actually. It's not so much. Part of it is because even though we may have the memories from Atlantis, I loved anything to do with Atlantis when I was a little kid growing up, which doesn't surprise me because I have a lot in my natal chart where I'm very scientific. I love to deep dive. I love crystals. I love technology. I love learning. And so you take the best with, it's not a matter of like this, like that. We're trying to like everything that comes in as much as we can, taking the good from it. You're taking the laughter and the light and look at all of the things that they could do. The trouble with Atlantis is there was arrogance. That was what created some of the imbalance, was because they were so in their head and they weren't paying attention to their body. So they began to tip the balance to, I love that power. I want more of that power. And unfortunately, they began to do the disconnect from the body. They began to do the disconnect of, why do you need that much power? It's not really needed. You have a peaceful life. So what I'm trying to say is that you drop that right now simply by not fighting against it. It doesn't exist, for one thing. And there again, it's just another story. And there again, that's what this thing is doing too. It is transmuting all of those. And it wasn't so much that Lemuria, everybody's like, well, I'm Lemurian, therefore I must hate Atlantis. Nope. You can be both. Yeah, I know, right? I think all of us have had these past shadows. Yep. Yep. Beautiful. How cool. I love the codes that are in those Lemurian crystals. Even just seeing, that's just it. You can get the activations from those Lemurian crystals just from the photos themselves. Oh, I know, I know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whenever I was little, same thing. In fact, there was, I don't know if I mentioned it on here or not. I probably did, but when I was around 10 or 11, um, I encountered, or I should say, I had an encounter with fairy music. And I gotta say, as gorgeous, I mean, I've always loved the flute music from James Galway. And it's just this, I was sitting on my bed, I was 11 years old, and suddenly I could hear this music, and it gradually came in and it gradually built up. I was transfixed. It was the most beautiful music I have ever heard in my life. It made James Galway sound like a third-rate stringer flautist, and that man I hold on pedestal. And he was nothing compared to the fairy music that I heard. And if I could have found where it was coming from, I would have followed it. And as it began to fade, I was frantic. I threw open the door to my bedroom and I was shouting because I was convinced that somebody in the home was playing that song on the radio. And that was just it. I was like, turn it back to that radio station. And my brother usually got blamed for everything. To be fair, he was usually up to something, but he wasn't at home at the time. But it was just my mom and my sister, and I was frantic. I'm like, put it back, put it back, put it back. I want to hear the rest of that. And my mom looked at me and she's like, Debbie, there's no radio playing. There's nothing going on. And I said, didn't you hear that? And she said, hear what? Neither she nor my little sis had heard it at all. But I have to say, you hear all of those stories where people go away with the fairies. I'm here to tell you, if I could have figured out where they were, I would have gone without any hesitation whatsoever. I mean, it was incredible. I have never heard it before or since then. But yeah, they showed up. See ya. I'm out of here. But I don't think that's what I was supposed to be there for. But that was gorgeous. I believe we were ascending when things blew up. Yep. You are correct. We were on the ascension process. Things went sideways. Again. But that's okay. We get another opportunity to do it. And I think this time we were yanked back. Yeah, we were thrown back into the Stone Age again, quite literally, and our brains were wiped out. so that we wouldn't remember any of this. And that's just it. We've been living in confusion for 26,000 years. So it's not a matter of, if I've had a past life. It's a matter of, well, which past life would you like to remember? Because we've been here and we've been recycled for like 26,000 years. Oddly enough, some of the things with the folks having to suffer a lot, there are two different variations to that. One is there are 2D entities that are down here literally brutalizing people in order to garner as much squeeze from the juice as they possibly can get. And that's why they do that, for the suffering. There's a very nasty cycle that goes on with that. For other people, there is a strange thing that goes on where it's a theory of life in the universe was all interconnected and all one, and then the almighty knowing singular consciousness wanted to experience more than itself, and so it split into billions and billions and billions and trillions of variations in order to experience things. And it's, you kind of have to set it up as if you're watching a movie. And you do have to recognize that the players, both sides of it, the ones that are the victim and the victimizer, they agreed before they came down here on what tasks they were going to be working on, the things that they were going to be working through. And so even though it is horrific to think, it's like, I couldn't possibly have set that up for myself. I'm told, yeah, we planned this ourselves before we came down here to work through some of these patterns. And some of it may be that we're just simply doing it to experience them, not to actually do anything about it, but just to have the experience and to take that record back to the Akashic records. And in other cases, we're the black sheep of the family. To go back to the kitties, we're the black sheep of the family in order to break the mold and to help stop that in our families and in our circles, so that that is not a cycle that is perpetuated. Because most of us have been sleepwalking for 26,000 years. We have been stuck in the survival mode. So we're moving into more peace. And as we move into more peace, which was our focus from last month, we're beginning to get more familiar with and want and crave peace instead of the violence. Yeah, to clear everything. And you betcha, Annie, we are absolutely storytellers. That's again the focus. It's Tanita for this month, which is, like I said, that's the throat chakra, Tanita, and that is the needle. We are weaving the story in the tapestry of time. And didgeridoo. I know there's some things that just vibrate and it gets you in your bones and in your soul. Tired of surviving, I want to thrive. And that's just it. Hypnicity, take a look at your life. What would make you a symbol? What is it that would be in your life that you would be doing, or you would be experiencing, or you would be feeling, that would indicate to you that you are thriving? Are you laughing more? Are you going outside more? Are you enjoying a really good meal more? Whatever it is, see if you can integrate some of that into your life. Just baby steps, because it's what starts to weave in that we begin to get more and more familiar with thriving, familiar with prosperity, and prosperity for everyone around us. It's everything for everyone, everywhere, all at the same time. They were on my case so hard. They never quit. Yeah, yeah, literally. Yeah, they're very persistent. A very high vibe. Anytime that I was feeling very down and I couldn't quite get my energy up, I went onto YouTube and I looked for videos that had dolphin sounds in it. Yeah. Way to go, little missy. Sheep, sheep, sheep. Our lambs are going to break the ancestral curses. Didgeridoo sounds almost like dragon language. It does, doesn't it? There's a throat singing thing that the Mongolians do that sounds very much the same thing, where it's like grinding of stones. Sometimes in our winter storms here, because we have rock beaches, and I'll go down and I'll listen to the surf because it'll have the stones grinding on each other. And it reminds me so much of the dragon languages. Oh, how cool. My husband loves the didgeridoo. Got him one. That's really neat. Yeah, it was interesting with John Benny. I had a reaction to his whenever he started in because he's like, it's dragon language. And my body's like, nope, I'm out of here. That's not dragon. That's actually mantid. And the mantids are one of the deep space star nations. And they're scientists. They're actually beneficial. And so it it's just one of those, and there again, like I said, it's not that it's not that it's wrong. It's just simply it wasn't something that was going to resonate with my body. So I'm like, nope, I'm out of here. Oh no, you got to go, Annie Bear. I'll probably be headed out here before too terribly long, anyways, because I need to go grab a quick lunch before I head over into doing some more things. Oh, sometimes better out than in. There is a lot of stuff. This may be the month, and that's just it. If she creates her own version of events, don't try to force her into thinking your way. You hold your truth. Allow her to have her own journey and her own way of thinking of it, because we're all going to get there in the end. It's just some people are going to take more turns on the merry-go-round before they decide where they're going to go. And that's fine. If they want to do more turns around the merry-go-round, go for it. Didgeridoo is a typo. Yeah, see, love John. I think he's a really sweet guy. I really do. And I enjoyed listening to him. But whenever he began, and it's like, well, this is dragon language, and it's like, no, that's actually mantid. And they probably told him that was dragon because it's what he would, and it probably there again is his truth. And that's, I'm sure that they would have said that because that's something that he could relate to. Like, for example, I call the lights in my room just plain little light beings. Mantids, kind of like praying mantis. Here we go. Yes, they are. They are brilliant scientists. They're deep space, very deep space. And it is a species. Yeah, and that's just it. And so, like I said, with the lights and the beings that are coming through for me, once upon a time, I would have just called them pixies or fairies, and that would have been it. But they're not. And so this time through, I've actually just held the space open where it's like, okay, I'm going to wait until you tell me who you are, what you are, and it might be something where it is an experience where it is simply a knowing, because it's like the beings that stand in front of me whenever I am walking around outside, I see like a group of 5 people, but they have not coalesced yet. They're definitely not ghosts. I can assure you of that, because the energy that comes from them, their soul essence that is coming through that, is huge power. Um, and then the little light beings that come through to work on me at night, it's amazing. But they're much smaller. But I don't know, they may turn into something much, much larger. Yeah, you see, and it's like Randy, I don't resonate with his energy. And that, like I said, that's totally fine. Some people will resonate with it, other people will not. And that's not a problem at all. We're each following our own pathways as we go forward. And that's one too. They may be getting codes and updates that he's bringing, different activations that he is bringing from the mantids at this time, in order to trigger knowledge in them. They may remember a technology that they used to do, that they need to remember now so that they can do that. Huh. Yeah. 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 Yep. Dolphins are amazing. And yeah, we're a room full of stupid. Got that right. And the lovely ant people that saved us, they very well may have to come fetch us down. And that's just it. I honestly don't know with the photons that are going to be coming in. I know that the 2D entities won't be able to tolerate it. I'm hoping that this will be gradual, so that our bodies can all upgrade to it, because it's not just us that I'm concerned with. I literally am concerned with all of our animal friends, the horses, the dogs, the kitties. I'm concerned with the trees, the mushrooms. I want to make sure that we all update our DNA so that we can tolerate the level of photons that are going to be coming through, because there's, as we go around the Alkean belt, we go out into 26,000 years of darkness, and then we come into a very small band of very bright white light, and that is in the Alkean belt. And so it's 2,000 years of that. So as we head into that, that is the golden age. That is why when people say, well, what do you think about? It's just a matter of time before we actually begin to start seeing it. Yeah, it's like this with Teresa Ford. I can't wait till we're all telepathic again. I think it's going to naturally happen. Hi, Valerie. How you doing, honey? Valerie, it's nice to see you. Yay. Yeah, all life needs our love. And we need to really pamper ourselves too. A lot of times we neglect ourselves. We put everybody first, especially in relationships. So we need to start sitting back a little bit, being mindful of what is our truth, what's true for us, looking at things that is going to make us thrive, be happy. And just a little bit each day, just try to, even if it's just coloring in a coloring book or trying out a new spice in a recipe. We're obviously going into different seasons now. Oh, I am so, so happy, Val. Yay. Yay. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I did someone. I can't tell if I read someone's. I'll just give you an example. With mine, usually what happens is I can hear the person's voice. They will sound like them. And sometimes I will see things that are, it's almost like watching a show or a television thing come in. And that's exactly what happens whenever I'm getting information from the critters. They communicate telepathically. And that's what they're doing to each other. They're sending the information to each other as a big packet. Good for you. See, yeah, this is perfect. This is perfect. Hypnicity. I stopped calling myself lazy. Now I am resting. That is amazing. That is perfect. That is what we need to do. We need to reframe these things so that we're gentle with ourselves, that we speak better, because our words have frequencies as well. So when you begin to feed your body more positive information, more positive vibes, then we begin to feel better ourselves. We begin to resonate better. Whew, navy beans. I'm hungry. Okay, woman, you go scoot. Andy Bear, thank you so much. Actually, I'm getting hungry too. So I'm going to go ahead and close this for today. So far, I don't have a show scheduled for this week, unless Valerie, we might be doing a show this week. I don't know. Well, I guess we can hop off of here, and Valerie and I can try to figure something out. The next show that I have scheduled is next week with Allie, and that'll be next week at 10 o'clock with Allie at Heart and Soul Connected. So it's possible Valerie and I could maybe do something with Illumination Portal here. But if not, that's not a biggie. Sure, we'll catch up with everybody. And if I do, I'll be sure to alert you. And we'll make sure to get the message out to everybody. So thank you so much, everybody, for being on here today. Oh, you think maybe Thursday? Yeah, actually, Thursday looks good to me. You want to schedule that for Thursday? You want to do 10? My time? So that'll probably be 1 your time. We'll hammer it out. Yeah, if Thursday's open, we can certainly, I can certainly come over onto yours for that if you want me. Wonderful. Okay, great. So, yeah, perfect. Okay. Well, everybody, it looks like this week then I'm going to pencil that in. And that is 10. So that'll be 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that's going to be with Valerie at Illumination Portal. Yeah, perfect. Awesome. So we shall see you there then. That'll be Thursday this week, the 3rd. Great. Okay, everybody. And if I don't see you on Illumination Portal, then I will see you next week for your Oracle card readings. Have a great time, everybody. Thanks so much for stepping by.